What up, my peoples? Happy weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy flipping Saturday, yo. I didn't even get this in here. Let's pop those off. Let's go. Another beautiful day, baby. Hope everybody's weekend's going well so far. We've got video gaming news for this morning, December 16th. And then we're going to dive into day 26 of Baldur's Gate 3 with our buddy, my name is Pinky. Cool? That's the plan. That's the jam. That's what we're going to do. So, I don't know, man. Get ready for it. We'll dive in here. We'll see what's going on in the world of video games first, and we'll see what's new that we can pull out of our search, try to stay current on what's happening in the industry, and then we'll go play some games for the rest of the day, man. Hope everybody's weekend's going very, very well. It's good to see you guys. Let's go ahead. Let's hop over there. Let's get started. Let's do what we do, baby. Let's go. Love that Java. So, look, man, I have been talking for years about the fact that E3 is dead, even though they didn't want to admit it. It's easy to see why. I don't think there's a lot to really cover here. This is, been an inevitability really for a while now, and it's just official. It's unofficially been a thing for a long time as far as I'm concerned. And they're just finally admitting it. Goddess's Deadest Peter Molyneux's controversial Goddess games are finally being taken off Steam. Let's take a look at this. DreamHack Festival Atlanta proves that the gamers won. Let's take a look at this. This is out of Atlanta News First, so obviously they're going to promote this as a win. But I didn't even know DreamHack Festival was happening yesterday, so weird. Didn't know, but we'll try to summarize it, cover everything that happened last night at DreamHack. Okay, it's also on Steam, obviously, like Steam normally does. DreamHack Beyond Game Awards. If you go to the main store page, they've got their banner up. You can click on it, get in here, and take a look at everything that was kind of showcased. So, but we'll try to find a nice summary article to take a look at as well, okay? You want to talk about Blade speculation? I'll give you everything you need to know. All right? And it's this. What nobody else seems to want to talk about is the fact that this game is actually coming from the Redfall developers. The most recent thing this developer did was Redfall. So can you trust Blade to be a good game? That's what everybody needs to be talking about. Not, hey, this is coming from Deathloop, and this is coming from Arcane, or, Arcane, the Deathloop dev and the Dishonored dev, while those are notable titles. It's not the most recent thing they did. The most recent thing they did was Redfall, and it was a big failure. So that's what people should be looking at as a indicator for what, is Arcane's current trend for the quality of the games that they're going to be bringing to us. Hopefully Blade's better, but that's what you have to go off of, guys. I'll break this down real easy. What's behind the decision to end video game convention E3? Developers and publishers don't need E3 anymore. The pandemic came. It shut down E3. It showed developers and publishers that they had other ways of promoting their products outside of needing to be at this convention. And the fact that E3 didn't help themselves by trying to provide some kind of digital platform showcase for developers and publishers to attend or anything, it didn't help their cause at all. And so that's it. That's all there is to it. It's done. That's developers and publishers have found they have other easy ways to promote their products that don't require them to do E3 anymore. And so it's over. That's it. Yeah, we talked about this. This is pretty funny. Oh, no way. What? Starfield is up for a Most Inventive Gameplay Award? Their most innovative? Most innovative gameplay. I mean, I haven't played the game. The only thing I can imagine is like for ship creation or something, maybe? But dude, I'm willing to bet that Tears of the Kingdom blows it out of the water as far as like innovative gameplay, as far as those kinds of aspects go. Huh. And really what you want to see is a game that provides innovative gameplay all the way around. We talked about this yesterday. The partnership between Riot Games and Twitch is ending in March of the coming year, okay? So if you didn't know, now you know. That partnership is only got a few months left on it. They had extended for the majority of this past year. Contract had been up. They found they were able to work out an extension, but apparently it's over. Unless they are able to get back to a table, work things out, come to a long-time contract, it's done. There haven't been a lot of details about why this is ending, but it is ending in March of the coming year, meaning that the perks that you get for a lot of the Riot games, free currencies and skins and things like that out of Prime Gaming, are no longer going to be a thing. Just know that March is going to be the end of that. We talked about UFL. Talked about that. I am actually really hopeful that this game catches on. I'm hopeful that it's good coming out the gate. I'll make a comparison here. Excuse me. Same thing as like what is it, the AWL, the new wrestling game that came out. Even though it's not a wrestling sim per se, it's a more of an arcade style game. Having something on the AAA front to compete with something like 2K's WWE games is good, because competition is a catalyst for developers to raise their standards of the quality of the products they're producing. And especially on the front of these games where there is hardly no competition at all, like soccer games or soccer/football, whatever you call it where you're from, there is very, very little on the front of good soccer sim, football sim games to be played, and it comes out of EA. So to have another company creating a title that could potentially bring some competition on that front is great. It looked pretty decent. It's got Cristiano Ronaldo behind it, which is big, and we'll see what happens there. But we've already kind of covered it in depth. Yeah, I hate to say this, and I hate to like burst anybody's bubble here, but yo, if you're a flipping if you're a Rockstar fan, I wouldn't expect any new Red Dead content for quite some time. Because GTA 5 we know isn't releasing until 2025. That means even if they do have Red Dead 3 in any kind of production process right now, it's early and it's not full steam ahead because most of their resources are on GTA 6, right? Yeah, I might have said GTA 5. If I did, I apologize. GTA 6. And so we know that Rockstar really doesn't give two flying craps about anything else besides GTA. They haven't forever now. And Red Dead is their kind of fallback for whenever they need to work on something else, but it's only if they need to work on something else besides Grand Theft Auto. So for all those Red Dead fans out there, just keep holding your horses, I guess, you know, because I just don't really think that you've got anything coming down the pipeline real soon. If anything, it'll probably be closer to like a turn of the decade kind of game, I'm guessing. You know, I would assume that if Red Dead 3 comes our way, it'll be more along the timeline of whenever we get new gen consoles, turn of the decade, around that time frame. So there's not a whole lot of reason for people to be like speculating on what Red Dead 3 is going to be bringing to the table right now anyways. Yeah, let's see. Let's grab both of these. Page not found. Oh, that's gross, Insider Gaming. I'll talk about the epic stuff. Talk about it here in a bit. I've been hitting on it like every day, trying to advise people every day. yeah. Let's just, I mean, since we've got a full article about this, let's just talk about it because this is important. And this is one of those notions that I had kind of been like, kind of trying to give Starfield fans a little bit of hope with, but you know, if some of the major mod developers behind previous Bethesda games are like, yo, this game sucks so much that we're not even gonna mess with it, it's not a good look. I don't think that bodes real well for the future of what this game is going to have to offer as far as content from the fan community, you know. So we had a brief talk about this the other day, but let's talk about that a little bit more today. Yo, Green Man Gaming's got their winter sale popping off, baby. Let's go. Green Man Gaming's a good website. Elden Ring DLC release date may be very soon. We'll touch on it when we find out exactly when that release date's going to be, okay? I'm not looking for speculation. What is this? What are they talking about here? Oh. Super Mario RPG. Yeah, look, man, I really want to get this game played. That's all they're talking about. Super Mario RPG remake. Super Mario RPG has, ever since I played that game when it released on Super Nintendo as a kid, that's been my favorite Mario game of all time. Of any Mario game I've ever played, none of them have touched Mario RPG for me. They just haven't. I'm biased for sure because I love RPGs, but dude, I loved what they did with that game. I thought that it was so cool. And funny enough, over the past couple of years, I had been saying, you know, when are we going to get something similar to that again from Nintendo? When are they going to give us like an RP, like another Mario RPG, and then they remade it? And I was like, okay, well, thanks. I haven't played it yet. I've just been too busy with other games, but we'll probably try to grab it at some point and play it maybe this coming year. It's a banger of a game. There wasn't as much, you know, for me about needing to get in there and play it because I have played the original. I've beat the original, but I do, you know, I know that the new game's going to be a little bit different. It's modernized. There's some differences in the gameplay to an extent, and so I do want to play it. I do want to feel it and see it, and so we'll try to get in there and do it at some point this coming year. It'll definitely be a big contender for getting on the schedule that we're making in a couple of weeks once the new year hits. What? First Intel Core Ultra handheld gaming PC has been unveiled? By who? Uh-huh. We'll take a quick peek. So Larian is going to explain to us why BG3 will not come to Game Pass, all right? What is OpenUSD? Universal Scene Description. By the way, if I see Unity's name on anything, I automatically start cringing now. You know? Ooh. All right, let's take a peek at this. This is potentially good information for us to know. We've talked about this, and we'll talk more about this whenever the Xbox 360 store is closer to shutting down, but just know that's coming, you know, like right here on July 29th. You'll no longer be able to purchase Xbox 360 games. The Xbox 360 marketplace is shutting down. We'll I'm sure talk a lot more about that and the issues that surround that kind of notion in this industry whenever we get closer to that date. But it doesn't mean you won't still be able to download the games you already own for the 360. Play those games online, stuff like that, but you won't be able to buy any more of them. So just know, we've already talked about it. We'll dive into it more in depth again as we get closer to this time period next year, okay? Three new games coming to Apple Arcade on January 4th. We'll see what those are. We talked a lot about Black Myth Wukong, but we'll pull it up Release date, trailer, pre-order news. MK1 crossplay coming early next year. I'm sorry, I don't feel like anybody should be hyped about Blade. Not at all. Not coming from the Redfall developers. PS Store deals. Let's take a look at those. Batman Arkham Knight has added in Robert Pattinson's movie skin on all platforms. That's crazy, dude. It's pretty funny. Those are pretty old games at this point, too. That's funny. But they did just port that over to the Switch, so that might be a play, you know. More modern Batman movie skin getting thrown into the game because it's getting ported over. Let's look at our other search. Is Light No Fire one of the most anticipated games from the Game Awards? Is it? Are people buying into this Hello Games hype the same way they did for No Man's Sky? It was just too reminiscent for me. It was the same. It felt like the same kind of hype we got for No Man's Sky, where they didn't deliver, and that's a weird thing for me to want to like buy into hype on. I mean, what they were saying about the game sounded really dope, but I mean, we've heard that from Hello Games before, haven't we? I don't think people should be, until Hello Games can prove that they can follow through with promises. Don't get me wrong. They eventually got No Man's Sky to a point of where that game should have been on release, and I think they've done a bang-up job of continuing to add in more content and more content and more content without making anybody pay any extra for it, which is notable and commendable. But they don't get awards from me. They don't get accolades. They don't get a pat on the back for making the game what it should have been in the first place after baiting so many people into buying a title that they didn't finish and didn't a product that didn't contain the promised gameplay that they were telling everybody it would. No developer will get that from me. I'm sorry. It just won't happen. So Light No Fire, I'm hoping that Hello Games has learned their lesson. I'm hoping that they are, you know, a much more mature developer at this point. They understand the ramifications and you know, repercussions of what will happen if they do this again to us. So you would hope they wouldn't overpromise, but they've done it before, and they haven't released anything else since yet to show us that they can be different. So this is their chance. I'm going off of history here. Look, I've seen enough of Disney in the video gaming industry. I don't need to see any more of it. Just stay away, please. Man, we vibing this morning. You guys feeling that? You feeling that? Are you guys seeing this? Microsoft makes a huge deal with ZeniMax over AI usage in developing games. ZeniMax, who is a subsidiary of Microsoft also. Right? Let's see what this is actually going to give us. There's a Hunter fighting game in development. Excuse me. Would a mature Pokemon game even work? Yeah, it would. It just would. It would need to not look like Pokemon. It would need to be more brash. It would need to look more realistic. It would need to not look, I think, as animation style as like young cartoon. It would need to. I mean, we see all the time, like anime has definitely shown people that even an animation style like Pokemon can be very mature, right? So it's not like that can't work, but I do think it could be absolutely fine. I mean, there's a game coming, actually, a game called Pal World. If you haven't seen this, which isn't mature, but it's definitely different than Pokemon, right? So this game's coming to us, and if you haven't seen what this game is, it's a bit of a different take on something like Pokemon, where you get, you know, this universe, and this is a game where it's all about the hunting and capture of these beasts, but you're also utilizing them in different styles of like battle. Like you see all this, like use them as like FPS battle stuff, and it's kind of wild. But I mean, I think it could give you an idea of how. I mean, this still looks very cartoony, very like young audience. But I think the incorporation. You look. I mean, you got like AK-47s in here and stuff, Gatling guns. It's taking a turn towards a more mature kind of content. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to show you. But it's like that mix between the two, right? But that's why I think it wouldn't be hard to pivot and somebody to make something very mature in a Pokemon styled genre. I can see it. We got a lot of articles here. I kind of want to go one more page though. Let's go one more page. Let's see what we have. Yeah, Activision Blizzard is apparently finally finishing their gender discrimination lawsuit from back around the, what was it, like late 20-teens, early 2020s time frame. We've talked about the Last of Us multiplayer game getting shuttered, getting shut down, scrapped, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's go. Let's stick with these articles. See what we got here. 3 new games coming to Apple Arcade on January 4th. Here are your deets. God, dude, this website is fun. Apple is set to start with 2024 with a bang on Arcade, subscription-based gaming platform that they run. 3 new titles will be added on January 4th. If you are an Apple Arcade subscriber, check out all 3 titles that are set to be added. Or don't, if you don't want to. Here are all the details. Tamagotchi Adventure Kingdom. Haha, Tamagotchi, what? Corn Sweeper and Blackjack Plus. Bandai Namco is releasing Tamagotchi Adventure Kingdom. What? Join Memechi in restoring a harmony to the Tamagotchi planet after a mysterious impact. Explore landscapes, encounter almost 300 Tamagotchi characters, and build a wilderness camp in this regularly updated game. Also releasing on the same day is Corn Sweeper by solo developer W Butter. A meditative mind sweep 'em up. Players pop popcorn and avoid explosions, set to a relaxing lo-fi soundtrack with reggae infusions. Influenced by Jamaican culture, the game even features a localization in Jamaican patois. Mobility Ware's Blackjack Plus is also set to be released on January 4th. Offers a classic blackjack experience. Master intricacies like splitting and doubling down. Choose tables from iconic locations and climb leaderboards. Game features a table run progression system for earning titles and unlocking new tables, adding excitement and achievement to the blackjack journey. So there you go. Those are the games about to hit Apple Arcade Plus if you're interested. Black Myth Wukong. Release date, trailer, and pre-order news. This game has been hyped up for a long time. And it does look cool, man. I mean, here's the hoping. Devs are always going to show you what they want you to see. They're always going to try to hype you up. But the premise around this is pretty interesting, pretty intriguing, and we'll see. So, Black Myth Wukong finally has a release date courtesy of an announcement trailer revealed at the Game Awards, which we saw. We'll go over the pre-order news to see if you can get the game as soon as possible. Yeah, adapt from the 16th century work Journey to the West, attributed to the poet Wu Qingyin. Black Myth Wukong places players in the shoes of the Destined One, a monkey based on the character called Sun Wukong, who knows how to dish out some serious hurt. All the bombastic action depicted in the trailers is set against the backdrop of the incredibly varied and detailed world of fantastical Ming Dynasty China. I'll pull the trailer up after we read this, okay, so everybody can see it if you haven't seen it yet. When does it release, though? It's supposed to be releasing on the 20th of August of this coming year. So we're talking like, dude, 8 months, right? Like, there's still a lot of time, 8 to 9 months. Quite a while away. Plenty of upcoming games to tide us over. Yeah. And look, I think anything that is still this far away, they've already delayed this before, right? And you cannot currently pre-order the game either, right? So know that. Here's the release date trailer. We'll watch this, but just know and be prepared for the fact this game could delay again if the developer feels like they need to. So, we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of time between now and when this game's supposed to release. It's not like it's close to going gold right now or anything. So as they move forward, if they feel like they need more time, there's the potential for that to happen. We know how this works, yeah. So just be aware that there might be another delay. You know, it could happen.
Glory fades through time in tombs of somber gray. You too want to be an immortal?
Master, are there more good folks in the world or bad?
More good, of course.
Then why is there always suffering? And why do the bad folks always win?
Because goodness without teeth punishes not. It only foments evil. Cleanse the world with blood and grow lotuses in it. That is your destiny.
The keeper of the New West. Welcome, the Destined One.
The Destined One who doesn't even know what he's destined for? Those old rascals, they surely know how to name.
Tell me then, is my kind destined for extermination? You're driven by glory, not destiny.
So this is the face of the Destined One. It will fit me just as well.
Bathed in blood, yet preaching peace. Oh, you immortals, pray enlighten me. What justifies your superiority?
Yo, General, all I need. So, I
Such a
GTA 6 can get wrecked. I really don't give a crap.
Do you still want it?
I mean, it's an interesting thing to sit back and watch how much the industry is like trying to prepare for this massive release. I'm just kind of like, I'm just going to sit there with my popcorn and watch this, you know, fiasco happen. But yeah, my sentiments exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. There's good morning, by the way, buddy. What's up, dude? Happy Saturday. There's a lot of time left before that's gonna get to us. So Dragon's Dogma 2, though, I am super stoked about that. That's one of my biggest hypes right now. I've got Dragon's Dogma 2 big on my radar. Baby Steps, which looks hilarious and awesome. And there's a game coming that is going to feel real nostalgic for me called Unicorn Overlord, which is actually like a spiritual successor from Atlas. There was a game back on Super Nintendo back in the day. South Park games are traditionally pretty good, dude. Yeah, it does look good. I agree. There was a game back on Super Nintendo called Battle Ogre. What was it? It was a Battle Ogre or Ogre Battle. It might have been Ogre Battle, I think. Let me see. It was this. Yeah, this is it right here. Ogre Battle. And I played the crap out of this back in the day, man. And they've got a wait, was this it? Yeah, there we go. This is the one one for Super Nintendo. And they're making like this spiritual successor game to it coming out next year on consoles. Coming out like in March, and it's called Unicorn Overlord. And it looks sick, dude. So I'm pretty psyched about that one too. Yeah, I've got a few on my radar, man. I got a few. I don't know. The GTA 6 thing is, bro. My big thing about that is just like I'm just like watching how hard they're going to monetize that. I'm really interested in that, you know, just because of me and the way that I like tend to approach the industry and try to promote a healthier version of what the industry should be for us as consumers and try to navigate that space a little bit carefully. Trying to see what they're going to do is interesting, you know? Yeah. Reminds you of those classic Final Fantasy. It's actually much different than like a classic Final Fantasy game is. It's more of like a squad-based management. It's like army-based. You're like a commander. You own these different like you command a like an army, but you can create these different squads based off of all kinds of like mythological creatures and classes of medieval characters and stuff, and as they fight and level up, and you can send them out, you only have so much space you can put for each unit, right? And as the characters level up, you can turn them into different kinds of fighters based on what class they started as and stuff like that. They have different like terrain that they move better over. Like if there's a flying unit in that, you know what I mean, then they can, you know, fly anywhere, but then they'll be vulnerable to certain types of like weather or something, you know. It's kind of crazy. But it's kind of wild because you've got to like, it's all strategy about like placing the units in the right places because the enemy's got like their side of the map they're trying to push towards you. It's really weird, man. But as long as you can get in there and take them out, you're using the right kinds of units. There's that whole system of like advantage versus disadvantage in different kinds of units when they face each other. It's a whole flipping thing, man. And I got wrapped up in it as a kid, man. I loved that game on Super Nintendo. And to see that they're making like a spiritual successor to it just blew me away, man. I was super, super excited. It looks really good, too. I'll pull it up real quick. You take a look at it. It might not be like a genre you're interested in, but here it is. Unicorn Overlord. Yeah. This is it's coming out on I think all consoles on March 8th. This is the trailer. I'll show you the trailer real quick. It's kind of wild. It obviously looks much more modern, you know, than like
grievous
those
tale
screenshots
which
I was
speaks
just
of
showing.
Feveth, one of stolen destiny,
About this.
stolen minds, and
kind of
stolen
flying under
nations.
the radar for a lot of people.
Yet as the world stands consumed by immense evil, a fallen prince shall rise again, ring of legend lighting his path.
That is the Ring of the Unicorn, ancestral treasure of Cornia's royal lineage. Legend speaks of your ancestors wielding it to purify evil. Yet the answer is clear as day now. The path before us is laid bare, and all that remains now is to walk it. Walk it I will, Mother.
Freely traverse an expansive world. Gather new allies, forge your bonds, and lead the liberation to glorious victory. Cultivate a grand army with over 60 unique characters, from humans and elves to massive beasts and heavenly angels.
Today marks our first foray into the mists of despair which hang heavy over our home.
So
It may take
liberated
days,
army,
months,
that's like liberating
or even
cities and
years.
stuff like that.
But I shall see the duties of my bloodline
Yeah,
fulfilled.
thanks. Yeah, I just
Atlas,
tried to turn it down.
and Vanillaware present the rebirth of tactical fantasy RPGs. Unicorn Overlord. Available March 8th, 2024.
So if you noticed, like they were at a city and it said like you've liberated this city or whatever. That was like a big premise for the first game, or the like ogre battle game, where you would you'd make these units, and obviously it was about going and like taking over the enemy territory, right? And you'd go from one map to another, and it had a whole story behind it and stuff. But what you would also want to do is basically send units out to the parts of the map that weren't necessarily taken over as well, because there'd be hidden things there. Sometimes you'd find like hidden NPCs that you could recruit. You'd find like hidden items, because you get like equipment and stuff to equip on the characters. You'd find hidden cities that you could liberate that help make your army stronger and stuff like that. So not only are you like trying to liberate these cities that the enemy controls, so then you control them and you get those resources and they help your army and stuff, but like you're trying to like search out the whole map and everything too, because there's some hidden stuff everywhere. It's a pretty cool game, man. I really enjoyed it. But back to the Black Wukong stuff. I mean, there has been a lot of hype about this. Again, I mean, the trailer looks very good. We saw this during the Game Awards, and I don't know, it's, again, we've got like 8 to 9 months before this is supposed to release now. There's still plenty of time for this to potentially get pushed back again. I hope not. People have been waiting for this for a long time, and but right now that's about all we have. It's an August release date. There's no pre-order right now, and we'll just have to wait for more info, man. It's good to see you, General Happiness. Hope your weekend's going well, buddy. Mortal Kombat 1 crossplay coming early this coming year. Let's see what we got. NetherRealm Studios has announced that MK1 crossplay is coming in the early coming year. Crossplay is coming in February between PS5, Xbox, and PC, so we're very excited about that. Community manager Tyler Lansdowne said during a live stream on Thursday, "Get hyped." Let's get this music popping back up. Let's go. Since the game's reveal, crossplay has always been a part of the post-launch plans for Mortal Kombat 1. The only question was when, not if the feature was going to be added. With a release window now known, it's going to give players even more opportunities to play online with people they've never had the chance to fight before. In addition to crossplay, the studio is adding a Wi-Fi filter to Mortal Kombat 1, which will allow players to decline matches based on the connection to their opponent. I like that. I like that. Wanted to go against those Switch players. Mortal Kombat 1 is available now for PS5, Xbox Series X, S, PC, and Switch. If it wasn't clear via the quote above, crossplay won't be coming to the Switch version of the game. Yeah, look, man, this is an important thing, I think, for most fighting games. Most online competitive games, actually, especially if you're in like a one-on-one situation. Usually you don't want to play somebody on a Wi-Fi connection. It depends. It depends. But more often than not, if you really want to make sure that you're not going to have any kind of connection issues, you want to play people that have a hardwired connection. And you want to use a hardwired connection, you know? Wi-Fi's gotten much better, but there is still something to be said for making yourself hardwired in for competitive-based gaming. No doubt about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't worry about putting those implementations into the game. You be getting those people on that dang McDonald's Wi-Fi, dude, be flipping, phasing across the screen and everything. It's like, oh, no, I'm out of here, you know. There's always an issue. PlayStation Store deal cuts price of one of this year's best PS5 games in half. Until January 6th, one of this year's best PS5 games and one of this year's best PS4 games as well has seen a price reduction of 50%. What are we talking about here? Hogwarts Legacy. Normally it's a $70 game. It's a AAA game. And that's on PS5. PS4 normally costs $60. PS4 version anyways. While the PS5 version is now currently on sale for 50% off at $35, the PS4 version is $30. That is mathing. 50% off, okay? That's math. And most people know what this game is. Take a look. There's links in here if you're interested in grabbing this game at a discount right now, okay? There you go. Microsoft makes this is interesting. I kind of want to read this later. Let's go for the end of the news segment for that. That's a pretty interesting one right there. Hunter x Hunter fighting game is in development. Confirmed. A fighting game based on Hunter x Hunter is in development. There will be an official announcement for it at the Bushiroad New Year presentation, which will take place on January 6th. News of this first came out during Jump Festa 2024, which is underway in Japan currently. It'll be a full-scale fighting game. However, due to the lack of information on the product, unclear what this means. The Hunter x Hunter game will be a joint project between Bushiroad and Ating. Ating is the video game developers that worked on the Bloody Roar series, Fate Unlimited Codes, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You can currently watch Hunter x Hunter on many different streaming services such as Crunchyroll. I know it was on Netflix, I think, for quite a while. It might still be. I don't know. But it looks like right after probably about 2 to 3 weeks from now, we'll really start getting some probably solid info and maybe even a look at what this game could contain. So not pertain, but contain. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open for more on the Hunter x Hunter fighting game coming to us, okay? So Larian is going to explain to us why we shouldn't be expecting to see Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass. I have a pretty good inkling as to why, but let's read this. Baldur's Gate 3 won't be coming to Game Pass. There are few games that have been as successful as BG3 this year. The game has a massive launch on Steam and managed to become one of the most played games on the platform when it was released. The game had been building itself up as a massive RPG for years in early access, and the reviews for the game were overwhelmingly positive. It was a game many had longed for, and now it's finally here. BG3 went on to win Game of the Year, beating out games like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Alan Wake 2, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. When that happened, the game was also simultaneously released on Xbox. Yep. It would have been released earlier, but the whole, if you're going to release on Xbox, you got to release on Series S, and Series S is a very, very low-powered platform, and they had issues getting that game to function on Series S like it would on Series X. Now with this massive RPG available on all relevant platforms, many are wondering if Larian will bring the game to Game Pass. Unfortunately, fans shouldn't hold their breath. Larian Studios founder Swin Vink told IGN that they have no plans to bring the game to Game Pass, as it's not a live service game that they can get people to buy microtransactions for if they don't pay for the game. Vink noted that it's a game that seems to justify its value, and that charging full price will allow them to make other games. Quote, "We always said from the get-go it wasn't going to be on Game Pass. It's not going to be on Game Pass," Vink says. "We made a big game, so I think there's a fair price to be paid for that, and I think that is okay. We don't charge you any microtransactions on top of it, so you get what you pay for. Up front, it's a big meaty game, so I think that should be able to exist as it is. This is what allows us to continue making other games." This is exactly what I assumed, and I'm on board here. I don't think that there's any reason for them to put it on subscription service. Not right now. That does not mean this game will never hit a subscription service, right? But while the game is fresh, and I wouldn't expect it for years probably, it would be a surprise for me to see this hit a subscription service for probably the first few years of it being full released. So I know there are a lot of people that probably go, "Oh, well, that sucks. I'm not going to play it then." But look, man, in the world that we live in of video games, and to be fair, this is an absolutely massive game. It's I think something that anybody that is an actual true gamer, you have to respect this. This is a AAA game that came out, and like they stated here, has nothing additional. You get everything just by paying for this game, and it's a massive amount of content. And I think you got to respect that. And you know, Larian did a great job here. We want to continue to see what they're going to bring to the table, and yeah, they deserve to make you know, they deserve to be paid for this product. They deserve to be paid for this content. We talk about it all the time. Support the good devs. Yeah, don't support the bad devs. Larian seems like a very good developer, and I want to continue to see what they have in store for us. So this is a type of game that I have no problem paying for. I don't think anybody else should have any problem paying for this game either. And if anybody's upset about it not being on a subscription service, I think you need to take a second look at, you know, maybe reconsider why it's okay that it won't hit a subscription service as a whole for what it is and what the video game currently, the industry actually is, right? So, I think there are an amount of games that are on release or close to release games that absolutely deserve to be on a subscription service, and then there are some that don't, and this is one that doesn't. I don't think this game should be on a subscription service for quite some time, actually. It deserves to be paid for. Microsoft often pays to put games on Game Pass, so it's not like Larian would get $0 for it being on Game Pass, but it may be a lot of missed revenue since it's a single-player game with no notable monetization schemes. Of course, Starfield succeeded on Game Pass, but it's also a Microsoft game. They got all the money regardless of it. It's through new Game Pass subscriptions, or if it's, my bad, I read that wrong, or if it's through the sales of the game, right? Regardless, you shouldn't expect Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass anytime soon, if ever. Yep. It's about what I expected, and I'm absolutely okay with this. I think other people should be okay with this too. This is a weird thing. Let's figure out what this is about. Meta. Blah. Makes me want to throw up. Epic Games and Unity, also something that I can't read anymore without just completely cringing out, dude. Join the Alliance for OpenUSD. So I'm sorry, but and Epic is not on my hot list of awesome companies right now either. But you know, you read this and I'm automatically turned off. Sorry. Yeah. They've joined the Alliance for OpenUSD, and let's figure out what OpenUSD is. Let's get educated here. Alliance for OpenUSD. 12 major technology companies joined the Alliance for OpenUSD to promote universal scene description as an open standard. The Alliance for OpenUSD, or acronym AOUSD, an organization dedicated to the standardization and development of 3D technology. Universal scene description has unveiled its roadmap and announced the collaboration of 12 new members. The HTML of the metaverse. OpenUSD is a high-performance 3D scene description technology developed by Pixar that enables robust interoperability between tools, data, and workflows. How long is this? 2 minutes? Okay. Let's take a look at it. I'll kill this music for a second. Let's take a look at this and see what this is.
We created USD at Pixar years ago because we're trying to solve a problem. The problem was like, how do we make it easier for artists to move 3D content, 3D data between tool to tool that they use? We decided that the best thing to do was to open source it.
At some point in the life of an open source project, it's important that it goes to the next step and it becomes a standard. But then if you want to go to the next level and make it into a real standard, you need to develop a specification. And that's what was missing, and that's what the new Alliance for OpenUSD is doing.
Things are constantly changing and evolving. The complexity of trying to adopt something like this without having some form of standardization was really making a challenge for a lot of other industries.
AOUSD is the Alliance for OpenUSD. It's the standardization body that's going to take the OpenUSD open source project and actually create a formal specification around it that allows for us to help drive interoperability in the space.
All these technologies are swirling around and creating immense opportunities, and there's just not enough content to fill all the need for 3D. So it's the perfect time for an open standard to enable a whole new generation of content creation and creators.
Luckily, the founding members of the Alliance for OpenUSD came together to talk about how can we all agree about how things should progress. What do we agree is like the baseline of what this thing means? And then most importantly, what does it mean tomorrow?
What's been really interesting is seeing where it goes even outside of the film industry into digital twins or to take the collaboration to the next level. And it's really gone in so many places where we wouldn't have imagined it going.
Well, in the future, we'd love to see OpenUSD able to represent the entire world at full fidelity and with full semantic data down to every city, to every building, inside every room, and know everything about the material and the geometry.
So the reason why standardization is very important is because it's to guarantee that we can have truly interoperable content because everybody works against the same specification, and that's what our customers want.
So I feel like now does seem like the moment where so many different industries need to represent 3D data, and if we can all work together and elevate everything together, then we might end up in a place where it's very usable for everyone.
Founded in August of this year, the AOUSD aims to establish OpenUSD as an international cross-industry standard with written specifications. Founding members including Pixar, Adobe, Apple, Autodesk, and NVIDIA, who refer to OpenUSD as the HTML of the metaverse. The new members are as follows: Cesium, Chaos, Epic, Foundry, Hexagon, IKEA, Lowe's, Meta, Otoy, SideFX, Spatial. In addition to the AOUSD has announced a new relationship with the Kronos Group to improve support through the exchange of ideas and assistance. Roadmap announced. In addition to welcoming the new members, the Alliance has also published a 2-year roadmap. The AOUSD Core Specification Working Group will first define the fundamentals of OpenUSD to specify how low-level data is structured and interpreted. This will ensure portability and interoperability across software platforms and devices. Core specifications are expected to be finalized through the end of 2025. So it's basically just like standardizing. I mean, that's the impression I'm getting. So that all this data can be used by all these different companies. All these like assets can be used by all these different companies. I mean, that's the way I'm feeling about this. That's the impression I'm getting. We'll see if we get more news on this front moving forward. But look, man, again, I'm sorry, dude, but if I see something like Meta in there and I see something like Unity in there, I'm automatically going to be pretty sussed out about this. Not the headline I care to like that's going to get me super hyped up. The first Intel Core Ultra handheld gaming PC has been unveiled. It's an oddly massive 11-inch beast. Shame we know so little about the actual device, though. What is this? Ba, ba, ba. With AMD dominating the handheld PC market thanks to the Ryzen 7 7840U APU, it was only a matter of time before somebody decided to give Intel a try. That someone just so happens to be 1X Player, a brand that has a pretty decent track record with handhelds such as the great 1X Fly. Just announced that the X1, part of a new lineup called the One Explorer series, with Intel's new Meteor Lake-powered Core Ultra chip handling all of the duties. Although it looks just like a tablet, 1X Player claims the 11-inch handheld is a 3-in-1 design, but hasn't said what that really means. Teaser video gives us a few clues, though, as it's very reminiscent of the 1X Player 2 Pro. That's an 8.4-inch device that uses Switch-style controllers and supports a magnetic keyboard to become a mini laptop, tablet, notebook, handheld gaming PC 3-in-1. That's just me guessing, though, as the actual press release is rather light on details. For example, there's no indication as to which Intel Core Ultra chip is inside other than it being a Core Ultra 7, so it's not possible to work out what its performance will be exactly like, especially in games. No mention of RAM, storage, or connectivity options either, though the 1X Player models are generally well served in these areas. We saw the screen specs as a 10.95-inch, just call it 11 inches, with a 2.5K resolution. Probably means it's 2560 by 1600, decent for a panel that size. Maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz. 1X Player also states that it's an LTPS screen. No idea if it's IPS or OLED, but it looks pretty neat in the video. Apparently, the twin speakers have been tuned by engineers skilled in Harman Audio EFX technology. An assumption here is that it will be using the Core Ultra 7 155H, which is a CPU with a dynamic TDP capable of turbo power up to 115 watts, with a gaming performance not too dissimilar to the Ryzen 7 7840U. Probably will also support 16 to 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, as Intel does consider 16 gigabytes of dual-channel memory the minimum spec to enable the Core Ultra's peak rendering chops. Almost certainly will be NVMe PCIe solid-state drive packed in there. Probably somewhere between 512 gigs to a terabyte. Yep. No note on the price yet either, so we'll keep our eyes open. We'll see what this has to offer, but not a lot of details there yet. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. We've hit on this a touch, and you know, one of the sentiments that I've talked about for a while, especially since Starfield's release, you know, one of the big drawbacks that I think have affected the game's overall consensus review from a lot of game players is its kind of bleakness, if you will. It feels to a lot of people like it's a pretty barren open world, if you will, where most of the planets you go to are pretty empty. And look, I mean, to be fair, Bethesda was pretty upfront about this before the game even released, that was something that people were going to experience. They felt like the appropriate play was developing a game, a space game, where it was going to feel a bit more realistic in what we know about space. Where if we had the ability to just travel around and explore, it would be planet to planet to planet. It'd be a rarity more to find something that was habitable or had sustained life. Whereas the majority of the time you're going to be going somewhere that was barren, really. And I understand maybe where Bethesda's thought process was here in a more realistic gameplay environment for what we know. But I think for a lot of game players, that's not fun. You're wanting to keep game players engaged, and I think the best way they could have done that was by making more of what they were creating engaging content, not bleak, barren, empty content. And it's been an area of a lot of talk since the game released, and one of the things I have noted was that, you know, if enough people are interested in this game sustaining, there's always the potential of moderator, you know, like not moderators, but mod creators to use some of this empty real estate, if you will, in the game, and create some different places for people to go and experience, as well as Bethesda themselves definitely have the ability to use that empty real estate, right? But I am hearing more and more that there's a lack of interest from traditional Bethesda mod creators in creating mods for this title. And this was an article that we got this morning where basically, and our buddy Tinwin touched on this a little bit as well previously a couple days ago, but Starfield multiplayer mod abandoned by the developers because the game is quote-unquote boring. The multiplayer mod for Starfield has been ditched as the creators of it find the full game to be too boring. Starfield was hyped up as one of 2023's biggest games. It was Bethesda's first new franchise in over 20 years. The developers' first attempt at a space game, the first game since Fallout 4, and promised to be the space RPG a lot of people have longed for. You could go to hundreds of planets, be a space pirate, and much more. The potential was there, and it would also be the first game Bethesda released as an Xbox-owned team. The stakes were high, and a lot of time, effort, and money was poured into making sure it was the best game it could possibly be. While Starfield has been a commercial success and people do like it, it wasn't the game changer some folks expected. When you're following up Skyrim and Fallout games, the bar is set pretty high. And to be fair, ultimately what I think Starfield ended up being was just the Bethesda recipe in space. A lot of people ended up feeling like this game was, while some evolution has occurred, still just Bethesda space, still just Skyrim and Fallout with a space theme, you know? And to everybody that loves Bethesda games, that's okay. There are a lot of other people, though, that were like, I've really already played this game. Many noted that the world is too big and too empty, leaving players feeling unmotivated to explore the stars. Those who have continued to invest dozens of hours into Starfield have made really exciting discoveries, such as a new storyline in New Game Plus, where you can actually meet yourself. Some were left underwhelmed by the game. Some held out hopes that modders could give the game an extra kicker. One such mod was the Starfield Together mod, made by the makers of the Skyrim Together mod. As the name implies, it would allow you to play Starfield with other people. It's a fun concept and one that worked well for Skyrim, but the problem is the team behind it doesn't even believe in the core foundation of Starfield. One modder known as Kosadeki wrote in a Discord server that they are abandoning the project because the game is too boring and that they can't be bothered to put this kind of effort into a game they don't enjoy. Quote, the game is boring, bland, and the main draw of Bethesda games, exploration in a lively and handcrafted world, was completely gone. Reads part of the modder's message. I'm not going to put my heart and soul into a mod for a game as mediocre as this. However, they have made the project open source, so if someone does want to finish making the Starfield Together mod, they can. Whether that happens is a mystery. If a group of people that are so in love with Bethesda games and have made mods for them before are willing to abandon this, it may be a sign that Starfield may not get support from its community that other Bethesda games have. Yes, that is true. That's kind of a sentiment that I was trying to express previously too, is time is going to tell here, right? Time is going to tell whether or not this game has support like other Bethesda games have. And explicitly support being from the community of people that enjoy this game. I don't currently get the impression there are as many people as interested in being a part of the modding community for this game as there have been for games of past, like Fallout games or, you know, the Elder Scrolls games, stuff like that. But I don't know for a fact either. And so I think it's just going to be one of those things where we'll see what happens as time moves on. But I don't think this is a good indicator for what maybe this game is going to hold in store, as in relation to what some of the previous Bethesda games have given us as far as like fan created content. Yeah, community created content, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Green Man Gaming's Winter Sale has tons of stellar PC game deals. Let's go. Green Man Gaming is running a massive winter sale, slashing prices on everything from Alan Wake 2 to Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. As usual, these price cuts are only available on PC games, though the vast majority are offered as Steam keys. Square Enix has a big presence in the sale, with the aforementioned Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate being one of the studio's standout deals. Find it for just $35, down from the $70 it normally sells for during the event. One of the best prices we've seen this year. Along with the base game and intermission DLC, you get a bunch of digital goodies such as additional armor, accessories, and weapons. Other great Square Enix games on sale include Live Alive for $30, down from $50, Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition for $24, down from $40, and the newly released Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai for $40, down from $60. Alan Wake 2 is listed for $40, down from $50, and it's remarkably easy to recommend at this low price. If you're looking for some games that are dirt cheap, you can't go wrong with Back 4 Blood for under $8, Chrono Trigger for $7.50, Moonlighter for $2.50, or Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition for $3. They've got plenty of other deals on sale. You can look at they've got a big list right here. Outlast. I'm guessing Outlast and Outlast 2 will be on here for very cheap. Those are great horror games. Octopath Traveler 2 is about $18 off. No Man's Sky. This game goes on sale all the time for $30, so this is the normal sell price for this game, but it is a great amount of content to dive into. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to be a banger of a game for $15. It's hard to beat that. Dredge is a great indie game. Highly recommend. Dave the Diver. Holy crap. Game's so good. And Dave the Diver and Dredge have a collaboration coming very soon. So that's pretty cool. Let's pull this up and... Oh man, it got blocked for me. Feels bad. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, here we go. Sometimes the redirects don't like to work for me, but you can see this is Green Man Gaming. I'll give you their homepage. Legit site. I use it often. It's great. For PC games. Here's their winter sale, right? A tale of mischief and deals. You can view more here. Whatever, man. Shut up. See a lot of the deals. There's Blasphemous 2. That's also a great game. Excuse me. Pathfinder games. You can. They've got a winter sale giveaway. Check back on Monday for a chance to win a 4090 graphics card and a bundle of AAA games. So don't forget to come back in here on Monday, try to win some free stuff. So I don't know, take a look, man, see what you can get yourselves into here. Okay, and I'll link this website as well, so you guys have everything you might need. Goddess is Deadest. Peter Molyneux's controversial Goddess games are finally being taken off of Steam. 10 years is enough suffering. In the history of video games, there are a few botches more infamous. Random Mote Time. Oh my god, and it's Chadge. Dude, please. No! Few botches more infamous than that of Goddess. Envisioned as a god game in the style of Molyneux's earlier work in the groundbreaking Populous, it was also intended to be the home of the winner of Curiosity, the game about smashing away pieces of a cube to reach the mysterious prize inside, a prize that turned out to be Godhood in Goddess. This is where things started to go wrong. Molyneux quickly began, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I hope so, quickly began dialing back the scale of the promised life-changing prize, and then Goddess itself turned out to be pretty much Garbola. Then it was all abandoned, including the winner of the Curiosity Prize, until 2016 when Molyneux's 22 Can studio resurfaced with Goddess Wars, a warfare-focused take on the idea of the original. Guess what? Also garbage. Also abandoned. Both games have lingered on Steam, trapped in a swampy torpor of early success and long-forgotten negative user reviews, but now their suffering is almost over. 22 Cans has announced that both games are being taken down. Quote, 22 Cans would like to share important news regarding our games, Goddess and Goddess Wars. The studio wrote in a message posted on the Steam store page for both games. Regrettably, due to an upcoming technical change to Amazon Web Services affecting our ability to serve necessary game files to new users, these titles are to be withdrawn from the Steam store. Please be assured that existing players can continue to enjoy these games without interruption. We sincerely appreciate the incredible support from all of our players over the past decade and extend our heartfelt thanks to all of you. Easy to poke fun at the idea of incredible support from players because for the most part, Goddess and Goddess Wars just pissed people off and shredded Molyneux's reputation, which had been well earned over the previous 20 years with an enviable run of games including Populous, Syndicate, Magic Carpet, Theme Park, Dungeon Keeper, Black and White, and Fable. It's not as though there's any kind of community around them. According to Steam charts, 9 people are currently playing Goddess, perhaps driven by curiosity following the announcement. And there's literally nobody playing Goddess Wars right now. Even so, it feels to me like the end of an era. Goddess and Goddess Wars may have been lousy games, but there were interesting bits of history from a time when Molyneux's words still carried some weight. It seems so long ago now, and I'm just a wee bit bummed out to see them go. Maybe it's partly because it means we will never get to see a headline like this. Goddess is getting a beta via Steam Early Accesses. Alright, so there you go. That's all that was. Alright, so DreamHack happened. I didn't know that was popping off. It is happening. Alright, so DreamHack Festival Atlanta proves the gamers won. This is coming out of Atlanta News First, so I mean, of course, they're going to be promoting their own local showcases and events and stuff, right? But let's see what they say. Gaming has come a long way since the days of Doom and Super Mario Brothers. Your stereotypical pasty white fat nerds in their parents' basement. Gaming used to have a stereotype, which was your stereotypical pasty white fat nerds in their parents' basement, said Blomberg, the event director of DreamHack festivals in North America. Jesus. It was kind of the geeks and the nerds, honestly, said Todd Harris, the chair of the Atlanta Esports Alliance. Played Dungeons and Dragons and we gamed, but now gaming isn't just cool, it's an economic driver. Now, quietly, gaming is a bigger industry than film and TV, Harris said. This is why the DreamHack Festival at the Georgia World Congress Center is expected to pull in 40,000 people over the weekend. Atlanta is really the capital in the U.S. for these large esports events. There will be games, lots of games. Also a world of cosplay. Okay, that's about all it's saying. Let's
News here, the 2023 DreamHack Atlanta.
Okay, it's just a news report on it. Let's see what else we got here. So the festival kicks off this weekend. Is it talking about that? It's just that same flipping. Let me see if I can pull up something else. Just a bunch of esports stuff, dude. They did give out some awards and everything, which is why I was trying to see if there was like a summary. Okay, I don't guess there's a whole lot for that, but if you do go to Steam, you can actually get a look at what DreamHack is offering here. DreamHack Beyond Game Awards, 15th through the 21st. They have a banner. You can click on it. You're supposed to be able to click on it. I was in it earlier. Apparently, it doesn't want to do anything now, which is super cool. Let's there we go. So you can at least go in here and just take a look at some of the things that are being promoted. DreamHack Beyond Game Award winners. Some different things to take a look at here. Looks interesting. Maybe we'll take a second to look at a few of these award winners. For some of these we know, like Stormgate, you know, things of that. BattleBit Remastered for sure. We might take a second to look at some of these though, and they're having some sales on some of them and everything too. So go check out Steam if you want a little bit more info on the games that are being promoted out of DreamHack. Okay, probably a good place to get a lot of that info. Last article I have for the morning, unless anybody has anything to add. Okay, so if you do, let me know in chat. We'll discuss it before we move on and start playing some BG3 for the rest of the day. All right, but this is kind of an intriguing, interesting article. I think deserves a solid amount of discussion here. So I wanted to kind of address this last. So let's dive in here and take a look at what they're talking about here and what this means. So Microsoft makes huge deal with ZeniMax over AI usage in developing games. If you don't know, ZeniMax is actually a subsidiary of Microsoft. And ZeniMax owns other companies like Bethesda, Tango Softworks, Arcane, a lot of these other studios that by proxy are owned by Microsoft as well, you know. So Microsoft makes huge deal with ZeniMax over AI usage in developing games. ZeniMax to see implementation of AI at Xbox Studios. So our summary bullet points here are: Microsoft reaches an agreement with ZeniMax over AI usage in game development. This will allow ZeniMax Union to govern how the company implements AI in its studios. And Microsoft will also have to follow 6 guiding principles from CWA. The use of artificial intelligence in the development of games has been a hot topic in the industry, with several publishers looking for ways to employ the technology, ensuring the safety of employees. The video game union, ZeniMax Workers United, has now reached an agreement with ZeniMax Media's parent company, Microsoft, to govern how the company will use generative AI for game development. Does this not seem like a conflict of interest here? I mean, I immediately feel like this. I immediately feel like there's a conflict of interest here. I know that it's the Workers United, right? But it's still ZeniMax, which has reached a deal with ZeniMax Media's parent company of Microsoft. I don't know. I don't know all the intricacies here, but it seems kind of weird. To govern how the company will use generative AI for game development. This is the first such agreement in a U.S. technology company in the video game industry as well. The deal will allow 376 members of ZWU to tentatively choose how the company adopts artificial intelligence in the workplace. ZeniMax Workers United strike the deal with Microsoft over AI use. So I guess this is more what this is probably like the union of ZeniMax workers has been negotiating with the parent company of Microsoft to try to come to some kind of agreement about having a say in the way that AI will be utilized I'm guessing. There are 6 guiding principles that were announced by Communications Workers of America earlier this month, and Microsoft Studios that use artificial intelligence in its future games will have to follow these principles. In simple terms, all games from Arcane, Bethesda, and ID Software that are owned by ZeniMax will follow the principles if they implement artificial intelligence at the workplace for game development. The guiding principles, as announced by Communication Workers of America, include fair, reliable, and safe, private and secure, inclusive, transparent, and accountable. This agreement between Microsoft and ZWU aims to protect workers in the video game industry against technologies like artificial intelligence. God, I really wish they would have used a different name for this kinds of technology that are being used. It's not real AI. It's not sentient, dude. You know, I find it weird that it's been deemed artificial intelligence. It's not real AI. I wish it would have been deemed something else. I don't know how this name stuck. It's really weird. Moreover, this deal will ensure that the use of artificial intelligence enhances workers' productivity, growth, and satisfaction. ZeniMax has also complied to inform the workers' union in case the use of artificial intelligence impacts the workers. Dylan Burton, senior QA tester and member of ZWU, spoke about the agreement and said that coming to this agreement was a high priority for us. Hard to say how developments with AI may impact our work, but now we can be more confident that the agreement will help to protect us as we navigate the potential adoption of AI into our workflow. It is crucial that all workers have a voice in what role AI plays in their work and can hold their employers accountable for the impacts of its use. This agreement empowers us to shape the ways we may choose to use AI in our work and also gives us the means to address those impacts before their potential implementation. Cloud Cummings Jr., president of Communications Workers of America, or CWA, stated that this agreement will help protect workers against the threats that artificial intelligence poses to them. Cummings stated this tentative agreement underscores how collective bargaining can give workers a voice in the ways emerging technologies like AI are implemented in the workplace. Worker input is critical for ensuring that AI is human-centered, and this legally binding agreement will help protect both workers and consumers from potential harms. ZWU was founded earlier this year when 300 quality assurance workers at ZeniMax formed a union under the umbrella of Communications Workers of America. Okay, and Microsoft recognized the union rather than opposing it like other major publishers. This was in accordance with the labor neutrality agreement between CWA and Xbox when the company was trying to acquire Activision Blizzard. Right, okay. The company has also recently allowed 77 contract workers to join the union, and out of these workers, 23 became full-time employees. The rest of the employees will receive increased pay. All of these employees will also be getting a free copy of Starfield, as they had worked as testers on the game. Because you know that they're not going to be getting that Game Pass because they took that away from everybody, right? Too soon, you know. Microsoft decided to take their Game Pass subscription away from all of their employees. The company will also remain neutral if workers from the recently acquired Activision Blizzard express interest in forming a union. The company has also partnered with artificial intelligence company InWorld AI and will work together to develop artificial intelligence tools for Xbox Studios to help in game development. The tools are designed Copilot and Character Runtime Engine, which helps designers with more creative ideas such as detailed scripts and dialogues. Character Runtime enables game developers to generate new narratives with dynamically generated stories, quests, and dialogue. Yeah, there's a lot of slippery slope stuff when it comes to the AI part of implementations for video game development, right? I mean, we've talked about it a lot. I think that there are a lot of ethical concerns that surround it. This is in part a way to navigate this pretty delicate space. More companies, I think, need to be open to obviously giving the employees a voice in how this is implemented moving forward. I think I can see the ways in which AI can be a very useful tool. AI can be a very useful tool in different aspects of video game development, right? But there are concerns, and I think that it's important those concerns be addressed, and you know, whether it be from a worker standpoint or from, you know, the standpoint of even, because we all know that AI does things like will just go out and utilize outside assets that they don't really have any kind of licensing for or anything to create new unique assets, and that's still, you know, that's not good. That's unethical. You don't have the licensing rights or anything, or you haven't been authorized by the original creators of the artwork or the assets, the, you know, whether it be artwork or you know, audio files or whatever, for the technology to go grab that stuff. I think that's why I've talked for so long about, like, whenever this became such a huge issue for us in the gaming industry, it was first and foremost, if you're going to use AI in the development process, you have to have unique assets that are developed for the game up front and a mass quantity of them. Then you can use the AI to continue to build off of what you have. That's at least one way of, you know, navigating this space of you're still using, you know, your workforce to create unique assets for this specific project, and then the AI can kind of take it and evolve along with what you're creating uniquely for that project. But we know that a lot of developers and publishers aren't really trying to use it that way, right? But that's the way it needs to be used, to try to protect all those people out there that are creating, and all the workers out there. I mean, there's a lot of that's just one way. There's a lot of different stuff, but this is actually, whenever I was first started reading this, it was coming off a little bit weird, but it might have just been the way I was reading it or the way it was written. I'm not sure, but I ended up understanding what was going on here, and that makes sense. I mean, that's great to see a union being able to get some kind of agreement going here to have a say in anything that is done within their games moving forward that could have, you know, some kind of push down from a parent company of going, you need to use AI, or the way AI is going to be used. You know, the workforce has a say in whether or not this is going to be a legitimate thing that should or should not be used, right? That's important. I think that's great. It's good to see that. And that's the news. Word up. We're gonna go play some games, yo. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Hope everybody's having a banger so far. We're gonna go play some BG3. The gameplay yesterday was pretty short because we had some family stuff going on, so I do apologize, but I'm ready to rock, man. I need a little bit more coffee, but other than that, man, I'm ready to get going. You know what I'm saying? We got some fighting ahead of us. We had to kind of call it quits in the middle of a fight. I don't like doing that, but I am excited to get going this morning and hop in here with Pinky and man, start slaughtering some fools in BG3. You know what I mean? Living that BG3 life. I hope everybody's doing great. Appreciate the attendance for the news segment this morning, video gaming news segment, and the everybody that played a part in helping to discuss some of these issues and bringing anything to my attention, as always. So if anybody's been hanging out, you're not familiar with what we do, this is the way we start off all of our streams, 6 days a week. We begin at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT. That would be 4 a.m. Pacific time or 7 a.m. roughly Eastern time. And we always start off with video gaming news, try to stay current with what's going on in the industry and world of video games. And then we move on and play video games for the rest of the day, like we're about to do. So, I don't know. All of our previous content is out there on the Twitch channel, here on this Twitch channel, as well as on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying this, I would say go check out some of the other stuff that we've done previously. And we got gameplay playthroughs, previous video gaming news segments, highlighted pieces of news segments that deserved kind of a little bit more attention specifically, or funny clips and highlights, things like that. If you're enjoying the content, come hang out with us, man. We got an awesome community here. It's all about video games is what brings us together, being passionate gamers, enthusiasts, gaming enthusiasts, and but ultimately it's about having a community here where everybody's welcome, you know, spreading good vibes, having a good time together, just enjoying the world that we love, trying to be void of toxicity, laughing, spreading some joy, man, and just trying to have a good time together. So if you can dig that, dude, come be a part of it. We're always looking for more people that fit in with those sentiments. So other than that, man, happy Saturday. Stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. We'll be back with more video gaming news tomorrow for December 17th. But I'm going to run us an outro for the news segment. We're not going anywhere. Stream's not going down. We got plenty more gaming to come, so just hold tight. And as soon as the outro's done, we'll start getting ready to play some Baldur's Gate 3. Cool?